But my first memories of Khabib is him being a kid that wanted to learn and just a sponge, right? Couldn't speak very much, so he stood in the corner. And he always watched and observed. And as he gained more confidence in his abilities and also his ability to communicate, it just kept growing and growing and growing. I remember the first time he did an interview in English was at UFC Tonight. And he was sitting there in the green room telling me how nervous he was because he had never done an English interview. And I said, we talk every day in the gym, you'll be fine. And he did. And since then, he hasn't stopped talking. And then Khabib was on his way up, and he was always kind of the little brother, right? Like the one that was going to take what we had done to the next level. And you see that, right? You see him exceed all the, break through the glass ceiling. Everything that we had done and set, he has shattered them completely and taken this thing to a level that nobody was ever able to reach. But when you think of gyms and you think of AKA, you think about the guys from before, and now look at what Khabib has done following us. But he won't be the last. There will be someone else that will do it at a level that's even bigger, and that's exactly what we always hope for out of our gym.
I wanted to be able to show people what I feel when I see a guy do a mounted triangle in a fucking world championship MMA fight and then find out the guy had a fucking broken foot when he did it. Madness! Just madness! Not every baseball player can do that. Not every soccer player can do that. Not every football player can do that. It takes a man with a gladiator's mind like Khabib Nurmagomedov to do something like that. That's a unusual human. It's the 1% of the 1%. Look what he did to Justin Gaethje. That's all you need to know. If you say Justin Gaethje's a nobody, you're crazy. You watch that Tony Ferguson fight, Justin Gaethje's a fucking animal.
He's a savage.
And he just closed that gap. And he ate a lot of leg kicks too, man. He ate a lot of leg kicks that would, I don't know how many of those you can eat from Justin.
Right.
Maybe he had like 5 or 6 more in the tank.
Right.
So you're on E. But he closed the gap and then wound up finishing with a triangle off of his back. God damn.
Khabib Nurmagomedov, the Eagle, Dagestan's own, the best wrestler, the guy that wrestles bears, that came in, wiped the floor with most of the competition, and then left, retired on top as the champion. That in itself is just incredible. Nobody does that. I'm trying to think. Certainly in the UFC, nobody has walked away from the sport on top. Even the great George St. Pierre, did he? No, he retired on top, walked away as the champ, he did. But then he came back, beat me, choked me out, and then walked away as the champ. So okay, fair enough. I think Khabib's the only other, should I say. So he comes into the UFC, ends 29-0. What an unbelievable record. In mixed martial arts, so many different ways to win and to lose, and kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, so many ways you can approach the game. Khabib coming from Dagestan, not only has he put that part of the world on the map in terms of UFC and mixed martial arts attention, but he's also spearheading now, when he's done in the UFC, he's bringing all kinds of fighters over from Dagestan. Khabib is cornering, mentoring, and just looking after. He's trying to now be the new Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. And big shout out, respect, and may he rest in peace to Abdulmanap.
I believe Khabib Nurmagomedov is the most dominant fighter MMA has ever seen.
Yeah.
And I understand that there's been some great guys to this point, but nobody makes it look as easy as Khabib Nurmagomedov. And I do believe that he's going to retire undefeated. And I believe that he's going to retire undefeated sooner than later, because when you get to 28, 29-0, no hiccups, man. Like, he made no mistakes.
Yeah.
Won 28 straight fights, like 12-0 in the UFC. So I just think he's the most dominant fighter the UFC's ever seen, and I don't think we're going to see anything like him again whenever he walks away from the sport. I think that this kid has developed. He came in the AKA as a wrestler, but he has developed his skills over in Dagestan with his dad, rest in peace, also with Javier and the rest of the coaches. With you guys sparring with him and grabbing him and working with him, I think when he found that connection to the gym, it allowed for him to go to a level that's unmatched, has never been seen before. Well, look at Dustin Poirier, how good he looked against Dan Hooker.
Amazing.
And look at what Khabib did to him. Dustin went between rounds and was like, I can't get him off of me. Once he grabs me,
he's so strong,
I can't get him off of me. Like, this is Dustin Poirier, who's one of the bigger lightweights in the entire world. And he's just a beast, man. You felt it. I felt it. When I grab a guy that fights at 155, and I go, man, he feels strong.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That should not happen. Like, He should not feel strong to me whenever I grab him, but he does.
Whatever guy he trains, I think Khabib gonna come and gonna make what Khabib does. He's gonna smash, like the way he says, he's gonna smash this guy, and I think and still Khabib gonna,
you know. And some people like Khabib, I wasn't a fan of his artistry at first, but then over time, slowly watching the way he's worked his opponents over time, I've kind of become a bit of a fan of his artistry. And doesn't mean, if I say that about anyone, doesn't mean I don't like them. And people, I feel like, they just say they just don't like me.